talked a little bit about the pot being weatherproof and that you can use this outside, no problems. It's not going to crack. It'll be fine. You can reuse the pot after the plants grow out of this for next season. So it's a durable pot. All the plant material and the soil came from Pike. My wife works there, and she helped me get this together. So I wanted to shout out to them for that. In the bottom of the pots, we gave you some peanuts, some styrofoam peanuts. That's to help with the drainage. You can find those at Home Depot or at Lowe's, or even at a packing store. And we get ours from our drainage, from our Easy Flow drainage systems. So
they're around a pipe that we use that's covered with a filter fabric. And anyway, they allow, the whole idea is that they allow good drainage.
So the first step we're going to do is we're going to fill our pot with soil. So I filled it up to about 2/3 full. So we're gonna fill it up to about here on the level of the pot. There's going to be a lot of plant material and soil roots, and we'll fill in later once we get the plants in the pot. Our first plant we're going to put in is our rosemary. This is our center, but I don't like to put things directly in the center of the pot. It's a little too symmetrical for me. I like an off-center arrangement, which is what we're going to do today. So this rosemary is going to get huge eventually, but it should last you at least 2 seasons. So for winter and then for spring, and then probably you'll need to replace it with something that's smaller. You can go with another rosemary or add something else to your mix. But
you can cook it with your chicken in the meantime.
Yeah, it is edible.
Can you put it in another pot and let it stew by itself?
Sure. Yeah. And it would live by itself in this container for a long time, but we're going to plant it off center, so it's probably going to be a little lopsided once it gets too big for this pot. This is a variety called Tuscan Blue.
Even though it's with other items?
Say that again?
Can you cook and eat it even though it's with other plant material?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. 100% edible. So you can clip it and put it with chicken or turkey or pasta, whatever you decide to cook it with. This is a variety called Tuscan Blue. It gets a lot of flowers on it. So late winter, it should start flowering. And it's very, very pretty flowers. We're going to take it out of the pot. I'm going to hold it over the pot. And I'm just going to turn it upside down. And then I'm just going to it should just sort of release. If it needs to, you might need to tap it a little bit, but it should release. You'll see that it's got a lot of roots around the bottom of the plant. And so we're going to break that up just a little bit. Not too much, but enough that it can get rooted into the new soil mix. So I'm just kind of breaking that up just a little bit around the edges. And the rest of it I'm going to kind of keep intact. It just is easy for me to plant it that way. So I'm going to put it in. I can check this level of the soil now at this point. If this is going to be the right level of soil, it should be right at the lip of the pot. So if it's too deep down in the pot and you have, 1 inch, 2 inches below the rim, it's going to collect too much water and you're going to rot out your plants. So we want to have it be somewhat mounded at the end of the planting. So we're going to, have it be a little high in the pot. We can always sort of press it down a little bit once we're done, but it's going to be a little high planted. And I'm going to put it off to the side. So first plant basically installed. There's the saying is that when you're planting plants in pots, that you have your thrillers, your fillers, and your spillers. And this is what we call our thriller, which is our centerpiece of the pot, which is the rosemary. Now we'll move on to our fillers, which is heuchera. This is a very nice foliage plant. It's not really known for its flowers. The flowers that come up are sort of cream colored and are very nondescript, and a lot of people will just even cut them off because the real star of the show is the foliage on the plant, which is this nice purple color. This is a variety called Near Wildly Rose, and it will get pretty big. Once again, this will outgrow this pot. So once it gets to a certain stage, when you replace this in the spring with your petunias or whatever you decide to plant this plant with, or this pot with, then you can take this out as well and plant it in your garden. It will live in the soil. It doesn't have to be in a pot. They're very loosely potted, so this one is going to fall apart when you pull it out of its pot. So I'm going to hold it over a garbage can and try to. I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to kind of come underneath it, and I'm going to try to hold the pot together as best I can. But it is very loosely potted, which is okay. I'm going to break off a little bit of the soil so that I have just sort of half the soil, and then I'm going to place it in the pot. And I'm going to place it right next to the rosemary onto the side.
Oh my Lord.
Did it fall apart? All right, our next plant
Does
is
it
going
need
to
to
be.
be, does it need to be like tucked really closely to the rosemary?
We're going to put a lot of plants in here, so I'm going to pack it pretty full. If you feel like you want to give it a little bit more room, that's okay. But it will grow. So this rosemary is going to grow up this way, and this is going to grow out like this. So it will have plenty of room, I think, if it's very close to the rosemary. It doesn't have to be right on it, but I'm going to try to stick in another 4 more plants in here. So it's going to be pretty tight when we're done. So get it as close as you can. All right, our next plant's going to be this, the spiller, which is this variegated English ivy. You are probably all familiar with it. It's a very classy looking plant. And
Adam, do they call that a needlepoint ivy?
needlepoint ivy. I'm not sure. I've never heard of
I've heard it called a needlepoint ivy, but it's this variegated, light color.
Nice. So we're going to put this on the other side of the rosemary. We're going to stick that in as close as we can over there. And I'm really pressing it in there. All right. Our next plant is going to be this white dianthus. We're going to put that sort of right in the center. Once again, I'm really pressing it in there. If you feel like you need to add a little soil or something, you can at this point. I don't know where my soil went, but see, I feel like there's a little bit of space underneath this plant, so I'm going to grab a handful, and I'm going to place it up underneath this plant so that it's
You
lifted
got to
up.
get your hands in the dirt. Got to play in the dirt.
There's no not getting dirty with this thing. All right, so then I saved the best for last, which is the pansies. And these are going to bloom all winter long. We'll talk a little bit about maintenance of these things once we're done. I pulled it out, and you notice I'm not really breaking up the root ball on this at all. I'm really just keeping them as together as I can because they're fairly recently potted, so they're okay with the roots. They don't really need to be broken up too much. There it goes in there. And one more. I don't know how many you have, but you got 2 each, so there you go. And I have to sort of press that last one in there.
Will those pansies trail at all, or will they kind of stay in a clump?
They will sort of fall over the pot a little bit as they grow. The dianthus will grow up straight, and the hooker will grow out as sort of a ball shape. So sorry about that.
It's okay. I want them to be able to see.
All right. So now we have all of our plants in the pot. It's time to add some soil around the base of the plants. You're probably going to have a little bit of space, and I do that all by hand. Or you can use your pot to dip in there and get some. But I just grab a handful of it and then I go around the plants.
You should see his yard. It's like a botanical garden. Beautiful.
And I put some around the bases of them. We're not burying them too much, but we are definitely adding enough soil so that there's no air spaces in between. I can see right here that there's a spot that needs some soil. I can see some roots, and I don't want to be able to see the roots, so I'm putting those in there like that. And I'm going to press it in. I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to press around the base of them so that it's really nice and firmly in there. I can feel, here's a spot over here on this side.
So you think you'll end up using most of that bag, or?
Yeah, I've used at least 2/3 of it. I've got at least another third left, but I'm getting to the end of it now. I think that's plenty, probably plenty. So there it is. There's the pot. Now it's time to proof it a little bit. And
Proofing is a scientific horticultural technique.
So I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of a shake, and that helps settle the soil down into the root ball a little bit. And then arrange my branches on my rosemary. Maybe the ivy is kind of going a little crazy, so I'm going to let it go over on the back side of there. Proof my pansies up a little bit.
So you really want it that full. It's
I want it this full, and it will live like this for the winter. Now I've got a couple maintenance issues. I've got a little dead flower on my dianthus. I'm going to take that off. And these pansies are about done. Once they reach this stage where they have curled up and they're falling off like that, then they're done. Like this one right here that's falling down like that, it's done. I just pinch it right off.
and they should keep doing that, right?
Yeah, throughout the winter, you should continue to pinch off
Deadhead.
your deadhead your pansies, and feed this. So we're going to feed this with a Osmocote all-purpose slow-release fertilizer, something that's just like 14, 14, 14,
Is that the
or
little
20,
pellets?
20, 20 it is. They look like bird food. Yeah, so just a teaspoon of that in the pot come maybe the end of October, and that'll be enough to probably get it through the year.
Just sprinkle it all around.
Yeah, but
So
don't do it
you
yet.
need to do it
One time, because it's slow release, should get you through the season.
but after it settles.
After it's settled in, they have plenty of fertilizer to get it established. Right now, if you added it, you might burn the roots. So that's it.
There's a little.
There's your winter
So
planting.
any questions, ladies? Everybody got their plant planted?
Well, I obviously have a question because I'm that kind of girl. Are you guys coming to my house later? To I've got some
I knew
new
that
plants.
was
Actually,
coming.
ladies, the gentleman on the right there, I didn't get his name yesterday, but he so kindly helped me with my Bermuda questions on my new Bermuda.
Paul. You've got Paul. Okay, Paul's on the left and Adam's on the right.
Okay, so it was Paul, and then I don't know. It was like 70 guys in your
Well,
office.
I
It
know
was-
we also brought a couple of more in and asked their opinion, and they all kind of told you the same thing. Thank God.
They
So-
did, and they were super helpful on brand new Bermuda. So these guys are, I mean, I'm sorry, geniuses, obviously, but yeah, this is awesome.
So how are y'all's plants looking? Has everybody got them in the dirt?
Let's see some
Oh, I need
pictures.
to wipe mine
Yeah.
off like a presentation plate. I need to go get some paper towel. I'll be right back.
What kind of light
Oh, good question.
what kind of light
Ooh.
needs is this planter gonna have?
It can take full sun. Full sun.
How much
Um,
shade can it take?
It can take, it needs at least 4 to 6 hours of sun. But if it gets bright indirect light, it'll be okay probably through the winter. But the rosemary
Does
will
it-
start to get leggy.
Okay.
Does it matter if it's morning sun or evening sun?
Morning sun is the best for most plants because the afternoon sun is so hot and
Hot.
intense. But this planter can probably take it. The ivy prefers to be a little shadier than any of the other plants, but even in full sun will be fine.
How soon do they water it now that it's all in the plant?
Yeah, water it now. So yeah, that's the final step, is to take it outside and give it a good soaking.
What if
Don't-
they set it out in the rain right now?
That would be perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we can leave it out for a couple days with all the rain.
You can leave it out. It should be outside. So
Okay.
Okay.
What about temperature wise as far as like freezing? At what temperature should we maybe bring it in the garage for the night or something like that?
Quick.
Yeah, that is a good question. The pansies will be okay. The dianthus probably will not. So I would say if it's going to be 20 degrees, you probably need to bring it in. Otherwise, you can leave it outside and it'll be okay.
These
Even
are
the
very
rose-
hardy.
So the
Yeah.
rosemary will even
The
survive.
rosemary will survive the winter.
Okay.
Can you trim the rosemary?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you could shape this up. You could, you could trim it all as much
Like
as you
a
want.
Christmas tree.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
This is-
you could.
This is the prettiest pot I've ever had. Just for the record.
That's
Aw,
great.
awesome.
And I have another question. Also, how do we get your wife in the group? Because, I mean, she works at Pike Nursery. We're going to have to, like, I mean,
She would
We're gonna-
compete with me, Ronnie. No. I'm the only
well,
one.
but, she's a little bit more retail,
that's
so we
retail.
can
She
become
is retail.
friends.
Okay, we could let her come
Do
in.
you see what
to
I'm
give us
saying? We could,
discounts,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, I'm not saying ladies, I'm just saying we could get that discount hookup. I didn't say that out loud. It's after 5 o'clock.
Okay, for all you property managers, yes, we are shameless. We admit that.
I want to see everybody's plants.
All right, so I'm going to turn it off of that main video picture so that everybody can show us their plants.
I want to see heads up close. I need to wipe mine off. I'll be right.
I've already put mine outside to get water. Hold on. Just saying, I'm cleaning mine up.
Guys, if you go back to speaker view, then each person that shows their plant will be able to see their plant.
Okay.
I'm
Here we
coming
go.
out of the closet. See what you guys have done. Okay, what did I
Get
do? Go back up here.
I made a mess.
I was recording. Okay, this is Anita. Here's mine.
Tammy, she'll clean it up.
Hold on, let me see Anita's. Look at that. Hold on, I need to wipe it off.
All right.
Anita, you're the blower.
Yeah, that purple looks good.
There's just some fantastic plants in there. Good job on the choices.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah? All right. Got some extra dirt, but I have a big dirt mess over here. Oh, let me put it on mute. I'm just like talking in front of everybody. My bad.
We're used to it, Ronnie.
Act like I'm deaf too, Anita. Jeez.
She watching this, my sister.
Ronnie, if you're going to put it outside, don't worry about the dirt. Let the rain
Well-
wash it off.
Well, no, but it's like a presentation plate.
Oh,
You know,
my bad.
like when you cook a nice dinner and you throw the sauces, you gotta
That's
get
right.
right. You gotta get the stuff off the thing, guys.
All right, start showing us your plants.
Yeah. So what do you think, babe?
I think it looks good.
I think it's adorable. I'll give you $20 later for saying that. Let me see everybody's plants here.
We're just looking at you right now. Ooh, Tammy, you got yours done.
Susan's looks good too. I like how she displayed it for us.
All right, I'm trying to see if you can see. I just moved it outside in the rain. Is it on the camera? There it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
And then I have a question for the plant people. These are my two lovely Boston ferns sitting next to it that I just moved outside for some rain.
Mhm.
I've never overwintered a Boston fern. Can you overwinter it? Because I have a like a breezeway that's almost like a Florida room, and I was wondering if I could overwinter those in that room.
You can. They will drop a ton of leaves, so they'll be very messy. You can keep them alive. I don't know that it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, given the cost of Boston ferns in the springtime.
Yeah.
So yeah, give it a shot, but I just toss mine.
He's obviously not from Boston.
Candy, turn your camera where we can see yours. I saw you carrying it, but I didn't see it.
You see it?
Oh, yeah. Looking good, girl. Diane, yours looks good too. Sandra, I can see yours now. Susan, yours looks really good.
So,
Cindy,
Awesome.
wow, yours looks good too. You guys did good.
Patty's looks good too, all that purple.
Julie, where'd you get yellow?
There were different colors of pansies.
Oh.
There were yellows, purples,
No,
reds, whites.
I think only purple was left when I picked up.
They all look great.
Anybody like feel like you need, I know y'all are looking at my storage closet right now, ignore that. Anybody feel like they need help right now or something not work or you need a suggestion?
The tricky part is getting the dirt probably at the right level the first time, you know, but you get better at that. And you can go back and adjust them. If you want to raise something, just pick it up, put more dirt under there.
Bye,
Or vice
Lori.
versa.
I think something for dropping these off. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
you're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes.
I
thank
think
you.
something I learned is like with the pansy, like with the rosemary, you like take the roots and you break it up. But even the pansies, I always break up the ends of roots of flowers, but the pansies didn't really need to be. So that's something I took away.
Yeah, they're more delicate than the rosemary is, so they need to be handled with care. And those roots, they'll find their way into the soil. Mother Nature, you know, knows what she's doing.
So for my ivy, I've got some roots. Do I just like make it so that it goes into the pot, so it goes in the soil, or leave it?
Yeah, that's fine. If you got one of the ivies that is really root bound, you can break those up a little bit, but I wouldn't do too much. I think
Inside the pot.
they'll find their way into the pot.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This was
So
great.
I just want to tell you guys, like we miss you guys so much and we're so used to seeing everybody all the time and going to lunch and going to happy hours and going to the Fox Theater or whatever crazy event we come up with. And like, we miss you guys like crazy. And we're just so thankful that you took the time to get on here with us and spend some time with us. I don't know if you realize how important each one of you are in our lives. And it's more than just the fact that you're our clients, you're our friends. And we just enjoy being with you. So our hope and our prayer is that very, very soon we can do something in person and really get to see you guys. But in the meantime, I know everybody's life is crazy and everybody's caught up in a million Zoom calls for work and everything else. And for you to take the time to get on a Zoom call with us and have a happy hour and plant a plant. And yes, I'm crying because I get all emotional because I just miss y'all so much. No. But no, we do thank you. And we're so appreciative of each and every one of you. And if you feel like you really need entertainment in your life and you're not getting any, I invite you to be friends with me on Facebook. I swear to you, my husband and I will keep you entertained. So we are crazy.